And he just,
No,
just won't go.
Take it right.
Okay.
Up or down.
Did he say we're ready to go?
He's muted, as long as not hearing
Okay,
him.
but, from the back.
I think we're.
They should be ready.
Okay.
That's close the door.
Bill, are we ready?
Not yet.
Okay.
They were having some technical difficulties. Get Holly on. Yeah, sometimes it's, it don't work before.
We good? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 10th, 2022, City of Henderson, Board of Zoning Adjustment. Sarah, may I get a roll call, please?
Mac Arnold,
Here.
Heather Knight,
Here.
Rob Turney,
Here?
Landon Overfield,
Here.
Marcos Nicholas.
Here.
Thank you, Sarah. Looks like we have two of the board members on video conference today. I'm going to ask Mr. Steve Davis to bring our first appeal to our attention, but first I'm going to ask him, do you promise to tell the truth, Mr. Davis?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. Appeal 3462, would you bring that to our attention? 3266.
3466.
Yeah, 3466.
Board of Appeal 3466 is submitted by Nancy Satterfield for the property located at 223 3rd Street. Applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to allow multiple uses, businesses, but not more than 3 may be allowed in the same structure pursuant to Article 20, Section 20.03, Appendix A, Zoning Code, City of Henderson, Kentucky. The property is zoned Central Business District. All adjoining properties have been notified. We have not received any calls regarding this appeal. The Central Business District does allow multiple uses, but not more than 3 in the same building with a conditional use permit. The applicant, in filling out their conditional use permit worksheet, states that the requested conditional use permit is justified because it is an essential use in that the retail store provides a quality shopping experience for Henderson and surrounding counties. In addition, the event venue will provide space for family and community events in our downtown area. The applicant states that conditions that would eliminate or minimize adverse effects of the proposed use in the zoning district are: A, hours for retail are Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Sunday, 10 to 3. The event venue will be available upon request until 11 p.m. The few residents living close will not be impacted by noise due to the building structure. And indeed, the building has been updated throughout with new lighting, flooring, painting, and landscaping to enhance the appearance of the building. Staff has reviewed the appeal and forwarded the application to the board for your consideration, action, and any additional conditions you deem appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Does this board have any questions for Mr. Davis? Does
Rob,
this board have
I
any
had
questions?
one. I had
Yes.
one more. Steve, you said that Saturday use, you said Sunday use would be from 10 to 3. And on your narrative, I thought it was Saturday from 10 to 3.
Oh, it does say Saturday, 10 to 3.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it is Saturday.
A reading mistake on my end. Yes.
Saturday, 10 to 3.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Davis? Will the applicant for Appeal 3466 please approach the podium? Please sign in with your name and address. Please state your name.
I'm Nancy Satterfield.
Ms. Satterfield, do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Does this board have any questions for Ms. Satterfield? Any questions? If there are no questions, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I think the building stands for itself. It's been in Henderson for almost 100 years. It was empty for 2 years prior to our purchase, and we have transformed the interior into a totally different environment with our retail store, and then with our upcoming venue area, and then eventually there will be an apartment reestablished for the third use, but that's down the road. We don't have any plans at this time to update the apartment that is a two-bedroom apartment that's currently in place there.
Okay.
So it would be for residential use is what the apartment would be for, right?
Eventually, yes,
Yes,
in
not
time,
for commercial.
but not commercial, no.
I have one question.
Okay, please.
How many, what is the capacity on the venue space?
Approximately 75 to 80, the way we, with our current seating availability.
Okay.
Any further questions?
Yes, the retail establishment that will be there, what is that? Or what type of business?
It's called Beachbum Farms. We started our 5th year in business. This is our 3rd location in 5 years. We've outgrown the 2 previous locations. One was at 133 North Main, and the second one was 112 North Main, our last 3 years, which is the former Mann building. You probably remember that. We're between Kurt Hamilton Law Office and the Chamber. We were there 3 years and outgrew that and had the opportunity then to invest in this building with the potential for adding the event side, as well as this gives us tremendous off-street parking, which has become very limited in that 100 block on North Main. And we just see we saw a lot of advantages to being able to move the business and, like I said, transform this building and continue its use.
Landon, I think your question was what it is. I think it would be a gift shop.
Oh,
Yes.
We
a
carry,
shop.
we
I
carry
reckon-
boutique clothes.
Thanks, I recognized it after she said the name. And probably Mac Arnold and I are the only ones on this board old enough to remember when it was manned there on the street.
But we have boutique, we have home decor, we have baby items, we have floral items, and we have some food items. So we really have a wide range of products that will hopefully continue to draw people in.
Well, congratulations on your business growing as it is.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mrs. Satterfield? Any other questions? If there are no questions, if you'd like to be seated, feel free.
Okay.
Is there anybody here to speak for or against Appeal 3466? If we have anybody on the video chat or the video call, please notify us through whatever means, raising your hand or through private message, whatever. Are there anybody to speak for or against 3466? If there is nobody here to speak for or against Appeal 3466, I'll close the open forum and ask for a motion, please.
Motion to grant. Go ahead, Marcos.
I move we grant appeal number 3466 for a conditional use permit to allow multiple uses business, but no more than three may be allowed in this same structure of the building for located in 223 3rd Street with the conditions that others that she already mentioned.
I'll second the motion.
Is there any further discussion among this board for Appeal 3466? Any further discussion? If there is no further discussion, I will ask for a vote, please.
Mac,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Landon,
Yes,
Marcus.
Thank you. Ms. Satterfield, Appeal 30, or conditional use.
We didn't say anything.
Oh. We need to amend this motion as to define whether this is going to be for the current owner or for the building itself.
You want me to do this?
I move we
Please.
amend the motion to show that it is for the owner.
May I get a second?
Don't we have to, wait a minute.
What?
It's fine, just
You sure?
keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other part right here. I didn't know, but she
Okay.
said it was fine.
Okay.
It's good. I
Um,
just want to make sure we were covered.
So the amended motion is that the conditional use will be maintained with the current owner. May I get a vote?
Mac,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Langdon,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Ms. Satterfield, appeal 3466, which is a conditional use permit, has been granted in your favor. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Our next appeal, 3467, has been withdrawn. Therefore, we are going to move forward to appeal 3468. Mr. Davis, would you bring that to our attention, please?
Notice of Appeal 3468 is submitted by Karan Patel for the property located at 2030 US Highway 41 North. Applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to allow for multiple businesses, but not more than 3 may be allowed in the same structure building pursuant to Article 21, Section 21.03C. Appendix A, zoning code, City of Henderson. The applicant is requesting an additional conditional use permit to allow a private club to meet on the property pursuant to Article 21, Section 21.02A, and Article 19, Section 19.03C, Appendix A, zoning code, City of Henderson. The property is zoned highway commercial. All adjoining property owners have been notified. We have not received any calls concerning this appeal. Highway commercial allows multiple uses in private clubs with conditional use permit. The property will have a hotel, offices, and a private club if requested. Conditional uses are granted. The applicant, in filling out their conditional use permit worksheet, states that the requested conditional uses are justified because they are essential uses in that they will increase revenue and room rentals for existing business. The applicant states that conditions that would eliminate or minimize adverse effects of the proposed use in the zoning district are: A, increased tourism and revenue; B, will not disrupt surrounding neighbors; C, there will be adequate off-street parking provided; D, these will be alcohol and smoke-free social club; E, we will be using an unused portion of a building in Henderson that is compliant to building and fire codes. Staff has reviewed requests and forwarded the application appeal to the board for your consideration, action, and any additional conditions that you deem appropriate.
I wanted to make one, comment. This is actually one application, but it's requesting 2 different conditional uses. One conditional use that is being requested is more than one business in a structure. The second conditional use is the use of to allow a social club in that structure, because a social club is a conditional use, not a permitting use.
Okay. Does this board have any questions for Mr. Davis? Any questions for Mr. Davis? If not, will the applicant please approach the podium? Please sign in with your name and address. Please state your name.
Karan Patel.
Mr. Patel, do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. What else would you like to add?
David said almost everything that I can come up with.
Okay.
The space that was not used currently, before COVID, we were using it for church.
Okay.
In the church.
Okay. Does this board have any questions for Mr. Patel?
Rob, I would like to ask Mr. Patel, the office that you propose, is that the office for the hotel, or is it a separate business office?
Separate business office.
Okay.
When we say social club, can I get a little more clarification on what kind of social club? Like a men's club, just a social club, just sit and talk?
Basically, yeah, it's a paid membership,
Paid
private membership club.
Okay.
You come in, there's no restriction who can join the club.
Okay.
This floor plan was not included in my
I didn't get it either.
package. Counselor, may I get up and,
Sure.
because I can't,
Oh, okay. Rob,
yes. Oh,
I didn't have one either. It's a light, I can't see that one. So, social club,
okay. So,
hotel.
we're talking about 2,300 square feet?
Correct.
Okay,
For the social club portion? Okay.
okay.
That's not exact,
But-
yeah, it's roundabout.
Order of magnitude, though. So it looks like it consists of 7 tables, some benches. I mean, it doesn't look like a restaurant-style social club. It looks like just tables, chairs, and,
Correct.
okay.
Mr. Patel, what are the hours of the
Yes,
social
that
club?
is their,
Important.
Mainly evening
their
hours.
apartment, probably.
You have
Okay,
hours
hotel.
set currently?
Can I come on top?
Please, yes. Are you representing the applicant?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm representing the social club. My name's Adam Thomas.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, would you sign in with your name and address, please? Mr. Thomas, do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. What would you like to add?
As far as the hours are planned as of now, Mondays, 4 till, 12 to 2. Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 to 12 to 2, and then Thursday, 4 to 2, and then weekends as needed.
Okay.
Is that 4 in the afternoon to 2 in the morning?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Okay, as you make these statements, realize you're under oath and you could possibly be locking yourself into hours.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, we don't have, like, that is the goal, that's the hours that we want, but, that's according to members, you know.
well,
If the members aren't there, then,
what I'm saying is, if you lay those hours out here, then you're obliged to keep those hours. If those are your estimated hours, that's one argument, but if those are going to be your final hours,
okay, no, that is estimated.
pardon me?
That would be estimated.
9 to 3.
Sorry, what?
9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So,
Just for future reference of the group.
Okay,
Well, I don't-
Counselor, I'm asking you, if he states a specific number of hours here, then he's obliged to keep those hours,
Well, only if you put it as one of the
condition.
conditions.
as long as we include it in the condition.
Right.
But if he's going to estimate those hours and we don't put it into the condition, then
You have to
then he's
wait.
not locked into them.
Right,
Okay.
right.
I'm sorry, I just needed to get some clarification
Thank
on
you.
that. I didn't want you to lock yourself in
right. I appreciate
unknowingly,
that. Yes.
so.
Or
If
we
you're,
could just say 9 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm just not sure on.
Well, and I think it'd be easier just to let them decide that.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's up to
Yeah.
you as to whether this is a condition you want to place on it where it's located.
Right.
Do you want to tell them more, Mr. Thomas, about what your plan is for your social club?
Yeah, so a social club is essentially, we'll have, poker tables in there. Members can come in, they can play poker, they can watch TV. Members only, no alcohol, no tobacco. It's gonna be veteran-owned. We plan to work with the community on donations. There's a lot of things that we wanna do. So we are the second one in the state of Kentucky. There will be 3 more joining Kentucky by December, it sounds like as of now. It's a familiar business model in Texas right now. It's been around for years there, and it's newer in the state of Kentucky.
Okay.
And there will be no alcohol, right?
No alcohol.
Okay.
But this is basically going to be for playing cards is what you're,
Yes, playing cards
Okay.
and just.
is there going to be like entertainment or anything like
Yeah,
that?
TVs, football games.
But not like,
Band.
Not
No live bands, no alcohol, none of that stuff.
You can just go watch the ball game and shoot the crap without somebody aggravating the crap out of you.
That's the goal. And drink a soft.
Because as of right now, you know, we've got a lot of people, senior citizens included, they have to travel to Louisville. That's the nearest place that they can go anywhere just to play poker or hang out type of deal like that, so.
Draw people in.
draw people in from surrounding counties.
Sir, if you're gonna speak, we'll need you to come to the podium, sign in, and get sworn in.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you okay where you are then?
Either way, whatever you want, sorry.
Does this board have any additional questions for Mr. Patel or Mr. Thomas?
I'm questioning, like, you know, to play, for card playing off, then is there betting involved with the poker, or is this?
Well, I mean, it's gonna be between the members, that it's not necessarily the club. The club's not taking a rake and profiting off of that. It's a membership-based, company, or membership-based business.
Okay. And that's all within the legal,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't wanna get locked up.
Mr. Patel don't want none of that. Landon, do you
Mr.
have a
Thomas?
question?
Yeah, Mr. Thomas, when you say there'll be no alcohol and no tobacco, does that mean that you will not sell or provide alcohol or tobacco, but someone can bring alcohol or tobacco in with them? Or does it mean there will be no alcohol or tobacco used on the premises while you're engaged in your social activities?
At the club, we will have a smoking, area outside of the club.
But he said no
No
alcohol
alcohol.
will be brought in or sold.
Not-
No alcohol on the premises.
Did you hear that, Landon?
I did not. I didn't hear Mr. Thomas.
Okay.
Sorry, I said, yeah, no alcohol will be there, period. We will have a smoking area in the back, outside of the venue.
Okay. Thank you.
When you say out, is that still inside the building, or
No, outside.
totally outside of the building?
Yep.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Thomas or Mr. Patel? Any other questions?
There is, now, the social club, what is the other business that is?
We have a hotel. Hotel that we operate.
The hotel?
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
business is a hotel and the other one is a real estate. There are several real estate in town.
It's the Envy Hotel.
Yes.
Okay. Right next to Gordon's.
So there's three businesses. There's the MB Hotel, there's Lusky Enterprises, which is a real estate, holding company that
Yeah.
Mr. Patel's a part of. And then if you
The
approve
social
this
club.
social.
And this would
So
be the
this would
third,
be the third business.
the third and final
Yeah.
on this premises.
What would be the maximum number of members you will have, or?
I believe for coding, I don't have it with me, but I think it's 99.
So the capacity,
That's the capacity of the room.
that's the Mr. Davis said that was the capacity of the room.
What is the criteria for membership?
21 and up.
You just being 21?
Yes.
Is
And pay your
it a
dues.
fee, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
and pay your dues, yes.
I met with Mr. Thomas before. I believe there's a dues and then there's a entrance fee, correct?
Yes.
So if you have you have your dues, and then if you want to go attend that night, you pay to go that night. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
When you're saying, when you have like 10 guests, you're saying, or is it, no?
You. So maybe you can explain that.
Mac, would you mind to ask him that question and let him?
Okay, well, I'm trying to.
Okay.
As far as what they were saying there, is that basically, it's members only, or do
It's
you?
a members only club, and then there will also be equipment rental, and then, that's basically your fees.
You say equipment rental,
Yes.
and what is the equipment
So
you're?
that's how the social club will operate. The equipment rental would be to rent the equipment if they want to play poker or whatever they're wanting to do inside the club.
I'm trying to think what type of equipment will we do? I mean,
Like essentially, it would be, yes, it would be an hourly rate to equipment rental for them to play poker or whatever they're doing.
Like when we used to go to Rookies and we paid a quarter to play pool.
Yeah, same thing as a pool hall type of deal.
Yeah, okay. They will not necessarily permit person can't come and say, well, I've got 2 guests to bring with me, but they would have to always.
They have to be a member.
Have to be a member.
yes.
I asked her, can I get in for free, and they said,
He didn't offer a room discount. did he?
Do we have any other questions?
Okay.
Any other questions? If this board has no other questions, gentlemen, you may be seated if you like. Is there anybody here to speak for or against Appeal 3468? Is there anybody here to speak for or against Appeal 3468? Anybody online to speak for or against Appeal 3468? Hearing none, I will close the open forum and ask for a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we grant Appeal 3468 for conditional use permit to allow multiple use businesses, but no more than 3 may be allowed in the same structure building for the property located at 2030 Highway 41 with the following conditions. I'll stop right there for a minute. Dawn, do I need to do this on 2 separate?
You can put it on both, but you'll need to, if you have separate conditions, you need to tie the conditions to each.
Okay.
Or you can do it separately, if that'll be easier, and we can make one A and one B.
No, I'll just make all the conditions apply. It's okay.
Okay.
No more than 3 businesses may be allowed in the same structure building, and I'm trying to think how I need to word this for the social club part.
Yeah, and for the conditional use permit to allow the social club.
And the conditional use permit to allow the social club for the property located at 2030 Highway 41 North with the following conditions. Only 3 businesses are allowed. All local, state, and federal laws must be followed, and all businesses located at this address shall be registered with the city of Henderson as a business and the state. Conditional use permit is for the current property owner, and that the evidence presented shows that the granting of the requested conditional use permit is justified because it is an essential use in that it will increase revenue and room rentals for existing business, and that the evidence presented shows that the granting of the conditional use would promote the public health, safety, and welfare by increasing tourism, will not disrupt surrounding neighbors, parking will be provided, alcohol and smoke-free environment, and will utilize a current vacant portion of the building.
Do you want to include no alcohol, no tobacco in the social club?
Inside, okay. On those conditions, I also want to add no alcohol or tobacco inside of the social club.
Second.
Mhm.
Nick, okay, got a second. Is there any further discussion concerning the motion on Appeal 3468? Any further discussion among this board? If not, I will ask for a vote.
Mac,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Landon,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Mr. Patel, Mr. Thomas, Appeal 3468, a conditional use permit has been granted in your favor. The conditional use information can be obtained from Mr. Davis if there's any confusion there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time and have a great evening. And I hope everything works out for you guys.
Thank you, sir. I was going to ask you, do we get paid now?
Do we get paid? We get paid, not you get paid.
Sarah, if you need me to type that, I know it's kind of confusing, just let me know and I can send it to you.
Okay, our next appeal, Appeal 3469. Mr. Davis, how about that one?
Okay. Proposed Appeal 3469 is submitted by Gray Hodge and Nancy King Hodge for the property located at 722 Merritt Drive. Applicants are requesting a 5-foot height variance for a new home pursuant to Article 27, Schedule of Regulations, Table Insert, Schedule A, Appendix A, Zoning Code, City of Henderson. Property is zoned R1. All adjoining properties have been notified. We have not received any calls concerning this appeal. Maximum building height for residential building in R1 district is 30 feet. The requested variance will allow applicants to build a maximum height of 35 feet. The The lot slopes downward toward Merritt Drive, which will allow for a walkout basement facing the river. The height will include the basement, first floor, and second floor. Variance worksheet provided by the owners states that there are special circumstances for this lot that make it different from other lots in the same zone, in that the slope of the lot causes a portion of the roof line to exceed the height allowance. They also state the strict application of the provisions of the zoning ordinances impose an unnecessary hardship on the applicant or deprive the applicant of reasonable use of the land because the homes in the neighborhood are generally two-story with high roof lines. Special circumstances stated in their variance worksheet are: 1, the granting of the variance will not affect public health, safety, or welfare in that the proposed use will fit within the neighborhood. 2, the granting of the variance will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity in that homes around it have tall roof lines. 3, the granting of the variance will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public in that the proposed use is consistent with the neighborhood and is not a hazard or risk to the neighborhood. And 4, the granting of the variance will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the zoning ordinance in that the proposed use is a residence with a building height slightly higher than is permitted without a variance. Staff has reviewed the request and submit it to the board for consideration and action.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Does this board have any questions for Mr. Davis? Any questions? If
Yes.
not, okay.
Steve,
Yes.
this lot and this house is going to be surrounded, it looks like, by a lot of trees that are way higher than 35 feet, aren't they?
I'm not sure after build if that will be the case.
You may want to ask the applicant.
Yeah, the
Okay.
applicant would probably be the correct person to talk to on that one.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Davis? If not, will the applicant please approach the podium?
This is Chris Hopgood appearing by phone. I can't answer that first question, so if Gray's there, he can answer what trees.
Okay.
Great here.
Mr. Hopgood, let me get Gray signed in and sworn in, and then I'll do the same for you.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hopgood, do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Dawn, how do we sign Chris in? Is that good enough?
He's already emailed to tell us he'd be here, so that's.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hodge, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, not at this time. The request was made on the plans as they currently stand. We actually requested 5 feet, but the current plans only require 2 feet. We're just trying to, as the plans develop, that may change a little bit, but the request comes about because of the slope of the site. So on the uphill side, we're well under the 30-foot limitation. As you work your way downhill through the center of the house, with the median roof height is at about 2 feet over.
Okay.
But it's nothing more than that. With regard to the trees on the site, you're correct that there are a lot of older trees that are way over 30 feet tall. Most of those will probably not survive the construction, the site clearing.
Okay. Do we have a current street view?
Yeah, it was something long ago.
Okay.
There it is.
Yes, there we go. We can go back to the other view if you like. Does this board have any questions for Mr. Hodge?
Mr. Hodge, you said the dimensions may change as it's developed. If we allow the variance for 5 feet, that's going to be enough, isn't it? I mean, you think it's 2 feet now, but it may go higher. Won't go higher than 5 feet, will it?
No, we'll not. If that's what the variance is for, we won't exceed that.
Okay.
Is the house gonna sit facing the river, I'm assuming, is it?
Mostly, you can.
Yeah, I looked at that view and I
It's
couldn't
kind of
tell,
wrapped in,
kind of
but
wrapped around.
primarily it faces toward the river.
Okay.
Does the other side of this actually go down onto Bay Street? Is this to go on the main,
From the backside.
or is the backside, is that, I was trying to look at so that's not Main Street, there's
There's a house behind it.
Yeah.
behind there, okay.
The,
I just, where the lot was, I thought maybe that was.
The Terry Peckinpah estate behind it.
Yeah.
No, actually, directly behind the house is Jim and Kay Ellis, and
Okay.
then, can I go
Right
over
to
there?
the, yeah.
yes, please.
So, this is where Terry Peckinpah's estate was, that's their garage, that's behind it.
Okay.
That's where we currently live.
Okay.
Now, the topography of the property is such that the houses on Merritt Drive are considerably higher than the house you're building?
At the point where this house is, it's, yes.
Because of that
I
slope
want to
right
say about
there.
20 feet. Or, I don't want to misquote, I think we're at about 395 at the lowest point on Merritt, and the lowest level of the house now is at about 417. Does that sound right, Steve?
This particular lot has a big slope.
It does have that.
And the people who are on Main are gonna see a two-story house behind them, and as you drive on Merritt, you're gonna see a three-story house.
That's right.
Okay. And as you pointed out, I mean, it's a pretty good slope coming down, is that right?
Yeah, I have a topo, I can give you
Okay.
the numbers.
My thought process and concern is whether or not you're substantially blocking somebody else's view of the river. But with a two-story house on their side, I don't think so.
Because the basement's gonna come out at the
Yeah.
river,
Yeah.
so.
Actually, we held the house as far to the north as we could with the setback limitation, because the house that would be most affected by it is 711 Main address, but that house will still have a view of the river. And it'll be more or less directly behind the Ellis's house, but right now, their house is, as you go back toward Main Street, the topography drops back down, so their house is down. I think out of their second floor window, they would see the house directly.
Okay, does this board have any additional questions for Mr. Hodge? Any additional questions for Mr. Hodge? Mr. Hopgood, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I think Graves said it well. If there's anything anyone needs to ask, I'll be glad to try to answer it.
Okay. If there are no more questions for Mr. Hodge, you may be seated.
Thank you.
Is there anybody here that would like to speak for or against Appeal 3469? Anybody here to speak?
She raised her hand.
Please.
I'm not for or against it, I just have questions.
Okay, please approach the podium, and we have to get this all on record, ma'am. Please approach the podium and sign in with your name and address. Please state your name.
Risa Box,
Ms. Box?
Box, B-O-X.
B-O-X? Ms. Box, you promise to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. Please present your question to us, and then we'll call Mr. Hodge back up and ask him the question.
We live at 103 7th Street. My daughter owns the home. And Gray and I have talked before, and this just kind of blew us out of the water when he says it's going up. But the house is supposed to be set back far enough where we can, the only place we can see the river is really our patio and our family room. And want to make sure that none of that's blocked.
Okay. And with that, you may be seated, and I'll ask Mr. Hodge to,
That's there on 7th Street.
7th Street.
Can somebody pull up
She's
that?
at the corner of 7th and Merritt.
So she's at 103, Is that the lot that's identified as 103? Can we bring the lot up? Sarah, I'm making you work for
Making you work for it today.
No, that's Brad Hazelwood's house, on the other side.
Don't make us all dizzy, I'm scared.
Our heads down.
Yeah.
Is this one?
That's it.
It's hard to see.
Well, can we just do a map? The Google map, and then focus into where we see the property lines, not the street map.
Is the property they're
There we go.
referring to, is that
If
your
we can
parents'
bring
house?
that up.
It was, okay.
If it helps any, I believe that's Gray's parents' house they built.
Yes, that's what I was trying to make sure.
Actually, if you bring up the HCC GIS, then
It's usually pretty slow down.
Yeah.
Okay, those on this board, Ms. Box, your house is 103 7th Street?
Correct.
Okay, on the documents that we received, we're showing 103 7th at the corner of 7th and Merritt,
Right.
and we're showing Mr. Hodges' house as being 710 and 722. And the river is
If we look at this picture of your lot, this is their house over here.
okay. But as we look at,
It's directly behind the Hodges house right now, where they
Mhm.
currently live.
but what I'm looking is at 103. 103 looks across Merritt and to the river.
Yeah.
It looks to me, what I'm seeing here is Mr. Hodges' house does not offer any kind of visual interruption to the house at 103.
Can I ask,
I don't
can I ask
think
Ray a
there's- I
question?
don't think there's any windows on the Merritt side of that house.
Uh-huh.
I believe is what-
Can I ask Ray a
Ross,
question?
if you'll bring that back up, you have that slide.
Yes, Sarah does.
Sarah does.
Can I ask him a question?
Yes, please.
Gray, you come up here for 1 second, I want to ask you a question. So their house is behind this, are y'all
Yeah.
taking all this out?
Yes, that'll all be gone because the new driveway is actually gonna come in over here
Okay.
at the property line closest to their house. So the house is actually pushed that
So then if
direction.
the driveway's gonna come in on that side, I wouldn't think that it would
Yeah.
block,
Well,
you know, I mean, you're
I'm not
kind
gonna
of.
answer the question just verbally, but if you bring up the graphic, it might help.
Mr. Hodges, please answer it verbally.
Right. So the house, currently is located almost as far north as we can get it with the 10-foot setback on the north side. So their house is to the south of that, so there's a pretty good buffer between the new house and the existing house. Well, if I can show you. So this is just catching the corner of that house that's there, and it actually comes down, the corner of the house is right about here. They have a 25-foot setback on that lot. So we have a 30-foot setback. The house is actually set back 37 feet. But let's see, that's an 80-foot lot, so we're probably a good 50 feet from the lot line, plus another 20 feet from their house. So there's a 70-foot separation between houses. They are going to see the house when they look out what is currently their back. There's a patio out there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They're going to see a house there. But it will, well, let's put it this way. So currently, they have a view of the river that if you're standing at this corner of the porch, you can look out across here. There's a big clump of trees right here at Bill Smith's corner of his lot. So really, their view is that way. They will see the house there. The extent of the river that they can see, I can't say for sure, but from my perspective, my point of view, it's not going to be significantly impaired.
And you said the driveway's gonna come in on that side.
The driveway
So we're not
will
gonna
come
have
in.
a structure on,
Yeah, you can actually see it right here. This is the driveway, it comes up and back to the garage back here.
well, and because that one lot is shorter than the other lot, he
Yeah,
can only go back so far.
Right.
there's a
but-
lot of history behind that, but
Yeah.
the lot to the
I
right
remember.
is 80 by 125, and the lot on the left is 80 by 200, and those lots were combined
Yeah.
to create a single lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Box, is your question answered?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the question. Is there anybody here to speak for or against Appeal 3469? Anybody here to speak for or against Appeal 3469? If there is nobody here to speak, do you have anybody online? If there is nobody here to speak for or against Appeal 3469, I'll close the open forum and ask for a motion, please.
I'll make a motion. I move that we grant Appeal 3469 for a 5-foot height variance for new home for the property located at 722 Merritt Drive with the following conditions. Total height of the home shall not exceed 35 feet. All drainage shall be directed away from surrounding property owners. All construction should be conducted during the hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. All local, state, and federal laws shall be followed by all contractors and subcontractors. And that the evidence presented shows that the granting of this appeal will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, and that the proposed use will fit within the neighborhood, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity in the home, in that homes in the area all have tall roof lines, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and that the proposed use is consistent with the neighborhood and is not a hazard or risk to the neighborhood, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations, and that the proposed use is a residence with a building height slightly higher than permitted without a variance.
Second, thank you. Is there any further discussion among this board on the motion? Any further discussion? If none, I will ask for the vote, please.
Max,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Landon,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hodge, Appeal 3469 has been granted in your favor. Thank you for your time. Ms. Box, thank you for your time. May I get a motion concerning accepting the July 13th, 2022 minutes? Or,
Make a motion to accept the minutes from July.
second, please.
Second.
Vote?
Max,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Landon,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Is there any further business that is to come before this board this evening?
Let me ask, I know that the Zoom meetings are not preferred, but our COVID cases continue to go up. And I've got COVID all around me right now. I had lunch with an old friend in Louisville yesterday. He just called me and said he's got COVID. So as long as we can continue using these Zoom meetings, I would appreciate it if that continues to be an option. And I know you don't have complete control over that. I don't think We do, we, Dawn?
And then we actually, the legislature made a change that will allow us to have regular meetings as Zoom meetings. So the way that the city is currently working is we're making every regular meeting also a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
So,
Sorry I wasn't there, but that's, I want y'all to be safe too.
Okay, thank you. Any further, business to come before this board? If, yes?
I'm gonna make a motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
if no further business, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yes, sir.
There's a, sorry, we heard, no, oh, never mind, I think.
Okay, thank you. So this meeting has been adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for your participation.